So at my school, there was this really hot popular boy that we all thought was really mean, but everybody was fake to him because everybody just thought he was hot. One day me and my friends were sitting down at lunch, and he came over to our table. This was really weird because me and my friends were not popular at all. We all just kind of went with it and didn't say anything, but we all knew something was right. He was talking to us and laughing with us, and it was actually kind of nice. He was really nice to us. And then I felt something weird touch my foot, so I looked under the table and I realized that he was rubbing his foot up against mine, and then I looked up at him across the table and he winked at me. I felt a little uncomfy, so I said that I had to go to the bathroom, and he said that he had to go to the bathroom too. We were talking on the way to the bath. Was uncomfy, so I ran to the bathroom until lunch was over. I avoided him the rest of the school day because I didn't want to tell him that I didn't like him because I knew what was going to happen. The school day felt so long, but when I finally got home I sent him a huge paragraph saying that I didn't like him and that I hoped that we could still stay friends. When I tell you, this man left me on red for the weekend and then replied K before school on Monday. When I went to school, Tim and all his friends were laughing at me, calling me ugly, fat slut, and bitch. Everyone at school knew what happened, and then Will and his friends spread rumors about me and I had to transfer school.
In 9th grade, I was getting on the bus to go home from school when I got a text from my boyfriend saying, "I'm so sorry, everything's gonna be okay." I then got a text from my sister saying, "Don't blame mom, she already blames herself." Super confused, I called my sister. Voicemail. I then tried my mom. Voicemail. I then tried my dad. Voicemail. I was freaking out because I thought one of my grandparents had died and no one was texting me back. I got to the bus stop and my dad was waiting in his car, which is always a bad sign. "What's going on?" I asked. He says, "Luke is no longer with us. Luke is my childhood dog since I was in 5th grade. I start ugly crying and he proceeds to drive me to my boyfriend's house 10 minutes away in dead silence. I get out, I run upstairs to his room, and I start crying. "Luke is dead!" Confused, he said, "He didn't die, your dad gave him away." So I called my dad screaming and I said, "Get my dog back right now or I swear to God I will never love you again."
Story time of how I found out that I was dating my own brother. Yes, biological brother, same mom, same dad. So a little background information, my mom passed away when I was 2, my dad is currently in jail, and I live with my grandma. So at the time, I was 14, about to be 15, he was 17, about to be 18. So how this all started is one day I was at the baseball game with my friends and he happened to be there. I was fangirling over this boy. Like, I saw him and I was like, I'm going to marry him one day. I was feeling a little bold, so I went over and got his snap. And then I figured out that he had the same last name as me and I was like, dude, that is dope. My exact words were, now I don't have to change my last name when we get married. So we hung out the rest of the baseball game and I was starting to fall in love with this kid. Like, his smile, his laugh, I talked about him to my friends the rest of the night. And me and him started snapping for a while. So we started to hang out a lot. We may have hooked up a couple times. But I had to keep this all secret from my grandma because she forbid I dated somebody. So fast forward a couple weeks, we start dating. Months and months and months go by. Our 9 months come and I finally tell my grandma. And this is where it gets bad. Part 2 of how I found out that I was dating my own brother. Continuing on with the story, me and his 9 months were coming up. Also, he was adopted and his foster family absolutely adored me, so they were okay with me keeping it a secret from my grandma. They were the ones to help me tell her. So not only were our 9 months coming up, but his birthday was the next day. And he told me the only thing that he wanted for his birthday was for my part of the family to know that we were together. So one day I sat down at the table and I was like, hey, I think it's about time that I tell you. And then I told her everything and she asked for a picture. I showed her a picture and she was like, "Aw, he's cute. How old is he?" At first she was okay with everything and the age difference she was kind of iffy about, but then she accepted it. Then she asked his name. I told her his name, she said last name, gave her the last name, and she flipped out. She took my phone, didn't give me an explanation, and told me that if I ever spoke to him again, I would never be allowed out of the house. Finally, after she calmed down, she came to tell me that he was my brother. She asked if we had did anything, and I of course said no, but yes, we did. Part 3 of how I found out that I was dating my own brother. Continuing on with the story, I didn't believe her not one bit, but then I realized the reason why I was attracted to him is because he kind of looked like me. No, I'm just kidding. All jokes aside, I did start to question because everybody did say we looked like brother and sister. I asked her for proof. She didn't have any actual proof that we were brother and sister, but then everything started adding up. I told him, and then he didn't believe me until he asked his foster parents who his parents were. Mind you, me and him never spoke about our real parents because we both told each other that we were uncomfortable speaking about it. Then we did find out that we had the same exact mom and dad. Me and him were both in absolute shock and had no idea what to do. I mean, we kind of were in love with each other, you know? So we decided to just date for a couple more months. I had to tell my grandma that we broke up and we were just hanging out and getting to know each other as brother and sister. But then we both decided that we needed to break up because it started to get a little weird. We never told absolutely anybody about this but my grandma. His foster parents didn't even know that we were siblings. And to this day, me and him do still flirt.